Okay, so in this video, we're gonna write our first Ruby program. So come over to this little directory and right click on it and create new file. It's right here. And we can name this pretty much anything we want, but I'm gonna name it hello.rb. And all Ruby files end in .rb, stands for Ruby. So if you do that, hit enter, you see you get this little Ruby icon next to it, which sort of shows us that we know it's a Ruby file. So go ahead and double click that and you can see it pops up right here. So this is our text editor and we can just start writing Ruby code. So I'm going to type puts hello world. Now this is the hello world program is the first program everybody always creates. Doesn't matter what programming language you're going to use. Hello world is always the first thing you do. So just type that in and hit Control S on your keyboard to save this file, or Command S if you're on a Mac, or you can come up here to File and click Save. So check this out. We've got this puts, that stands for put string. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We have these quotation marks. We typed in some stuff. We ended the quotation marks and that's it. Now, if you come from a different programming language, if you have experience with some other language, you may be thinking, why isn't there anything at the end of this line? Like a semicolon or a colon or a comma or, something. Well, that's one of the great things about Ruby. There's nothing like that involved. You just type what you want and that's it. So that's really, really cool. So make sure this is saved. You see this little all changes saved button comes up here to let us know. Now to run this, we just come down here and we type in Ruby. Anytime you want to run a Ruby program, you type in Ruby and then just hello.rb and boom, we see hello world putsted out onto the screen. So just that easy, you've created your very first Ruby program. Now, there's not a whole lot going on in this program, and we'll get into more complicated stuff as we go, but really, it's that easy to start writing Ruby code. It's just straight, simple, to the point, easy. So that is really cool. Now, before we get out of this video, I want to do one more thing. Look at this hashtag or number sign or whatever you want to call this. This is a comment. Now, whenever you're writing computer code, it's always a good idea to write little comments along the way to sort of help, well, partly to help yourself remember later on when you come back and look at your code. You're like, what was I trying to do with it? Oh, yeah, read the comment and it explains it. It's also good if you're working with a team of other developers and you're all writing code and somebody over there maybe doesn't understand what you're doing. Maybe you don't understand what they're doing. The comments help everybody out. So this is how you do a comment in Ruby. Just put the little hashtag or number sign, whatever you want. You could put it on its own line. You could put it after anything. So basically from the hashtag to the end of the line will be a comment. So keep that in mind. You could do multiple lines by doing something like this. If you want to wrap it like that, I don't recommend you do that, but it's kind of a good way to keep things separate, kind of over the top though. I don't really recommend you do that, but those are comments, very easy. So now we have our first program. One last thing before we go, down here in the terminal to clear the screen, we just type in clear. So we're gonna do that from time to time just to make things easier to read. So congratulations, you've done your first program. In the next video, we're gonna start to look at this puts thing, understand what it is, look at some variations of puts, and start to go from there.